We're joined in the studio here now by Gidi. He's a former peace negotiator under Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak, and a frequent guest of ours on the show on these most contentious issues. Gidi, welcome to the studio. Look, as this international center, the U.S. military presence, at the very least, seems to be building up. There seems to be progress. We see the top officials coming in here from the United States, from the administration. Look, you have a lot of experience in the sort of international workings of Israel, negotiating sensitive issues on the Palestinian front as well. Do you like what you're seeing in terms of how this is moving forward, the way it's developing?
So basically, the 20-point plan of President Trump is effectively 30 to 50 principles that he has laid out in one package, which connect what we're seeing right now, which we may call phase one, with what is called phase two. But if you really read closely the plan, phase two is built of two sub-phases. Phase, we could call 2A, in which the Hamas should withdraw, the International Stability Force should come in, the Palestinian technocratic government should take over the civic issues. It should be the beginning of the reconstruction. Then there's phase 2B, in which the Palestinian Authority is supposed to come in, take over Gaza, etc., during which there is the beginning of discussion of the political horizon of Gaza. Now, if all of this sounds familiar to the viewer, it's basically a lot of resemblance to the Oslo process, where there was a lot of constructive ambiguity, what was then called constructive ambiguity, in order to get to the deal. So we know a lot about what is required in order to move forward when there is constructive ambiguity. Constructive ambiguity gets you to this moment of agreement, after which, in order to move forward, you need another implementation agreement. And that's what the Americans are actually working out, which is why the delay in the delivery of the bodies by Hamas actually is giving the Americans the diplomatic window to work out this deal. Now, this deal requires, first of all, the mandate of the International Security Force, and we've seen progress in the last few days. The other thing which is required is legitimacy from the Palestinian side to all these legislative and executive bodies that are going to be created in Gaza, the International Security Force, the technocratic government, the peace board, because that legitimacy from the Palestinian side is essential for the Arab parties to move in. They've named this as a demand multiple times. In addition, Gaza, there's no law in Gaza right now. They have to decide what is the law that will apply to Gaza. There is a simple solution, and that is to take the law of the Palestinian Authority in the West Bank and apply it to Gaza, but that's a very difficult decision for Israel. But all of that is a precondition to actually get to the moment of truth in which Hamas will need to leave Gaza. At least the military wing will need to leave Gaza. I really hope we're a matter of days or weeks from there. I do want to say that another very difficult decision that is going to have to be talked about is what is the end of phase one. Even Israel acknowledges that Hamas does not know about the location of a few of the bodies of the Israeli hostages in Gaza. So there has to be a moment where the Americans are having this very difficult conversation with Israel, which is Hamas has delivered everything that they can on phase one. We need to move to phase two.
We'll stay tuned for those developments. Gidi, stay with us.